again, every time Nigeria is ringing bell. If I look on news, it is bell. If I look social media, it is problem. Eh? When I should be drinking coffee, they will make me to come online. They don't want to have me to rest. But you know what? You know what? The spirit in me, the Biafra spirit in me, I said, when I told you, if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is looking for 100 people, I promise that I have 50 in me. You have not seen anything. It is not by my power. It is not by my power. It is not by my power. But, you know, as my own oru, I am a royal rucha. You understand? Till Biafra come. But today you are going to receive sense. The crypto, Nigeria crypto. As they are crippling your economy, they close border. They close the border. ESN came out automatically, you know, weaponized. It shocked them. It shocked them. They said, this border no work. Oh. This close of border no work. Oh. Now, how do we stop the funding now of this Sunday or Igbo? How do we stop the contribution? Let us stop the crypto. Because they were following Nigerians, southern Nigerians. Use crypto. We should open crypto. Use crypto. Don't use the Western Union. Don't use this. They say, so these people are doing crypto. Okay, let us slash them. Bah! They are not considering the economic impact of crypto. No. They are not considering how much the crypto is bringing to Nigeria economy. Their agenda is not to make Nigeria progress. No. They have a better agenda. Now you get the point. Now you get the point. My only problem is that why is it that you must wait? Thomas. Was Thomas born in Nigeria? Is Thomas a Nigerian? Is Thomas in the Bible in Nigeria? Are you a lineage of Thomas? Are you a lineage of Thomas? All of you have Thomas blood in your vein. How did you get Thomas blood in your vein? That it must happen to you first before you understand. Here we hear more. In Anokia, you hear more kind of man. Woo! When we are telling you, you don't know, no, we are telling you, even we are not prophets, but everything we have said, everything we open this mouth to say, if it don't happen today, it will happen tomorrow. I want you to go from the beginning of this struggle, from the beginning. In fact, even the one that we are not sure of, once God asks us to say it, we will say it and God will do it. Hey! Woo! I said, did you see the prayer? May God harden the heart of the leaders in Nigeria so that we will tell them, the world may know that Obi is no longer a boy. I remember when we used to read the history of the Greeks, the Greek gods. I don't know, you know, of course you don't read all those things in Africa. The history of the Greek gods. Medusas. Medusa, they say Medusa is she look at when you look at Medusa, you turn into she will dry you and you become stone. Medusa have snake, you know, her hair. Medusa's hair is snake.
They are panicking. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We are live and we are direct. They are panicking. Zoo is panicking. Zoo is panicking. Onyemuche has come back. Biafras are coming back to my page again. Yoruba. It is the truth. I tell you the truth. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're holding my life, you take it. Was Shoyinka not corrupt?
And we are not going to stop. I want the world to understand me very clearly. We are not going to stop. It doesn't matter what it takes. It doesn't matter how many lives they extinguish. It doesn't matter the genocidal tendencies they bring with them into our land. We are not going to stop. Everybody listening, everybody watching, everybody remotely interested in justice and peace must understand this. Our destination is freedom, and that very place we're heading to is Biafra. And nobody, no soul on this earth can stop us. Instead of Biafra not to come, we all perish. I want our adversaries, our enemies to understand this very, very clearly. We are not going to retreat, not one iota, not 1 inch, because Biafra must come. Because the hatred have continued to this very day. As I'm speaking and addressing all of you right now, they are still arresting, extrajudicially murdering people in our land, people who are alien to our culture, our way of life, our tradition. They are in our land directing their people to slaughter, to kill without mercy. Unfortunately, those we regard as political leaders have connived with these people to ensure the decimation of their own population. That is the type of nonsense we can no longer condone, as you all know.
One thing people don't know is that we, this current generation fighting for Biafra liberation, we understood something that many people don't understand in the past. We understand that power, every power is given by God. So why do you discriminate other power, whether evil or good? I want you to understand that this particular freedom we are fighting, if we do not push Nigeria out of our land, we will never have peace. Nobody ever thought of why the devil, why the Satan, or whatever it's called, why was Satan pushed from the heaven to earth? For peace to be in heaven, for peace to reign. Because if devil or Satan is still in heaven, according to Bible, do you think you'll be struggling to go to heaven today for Christians? You will not. Nigeria said it's going to be a London to what the heaven will look like. If devil is Satan is still there. So I want people to think towards this particular. So it is the same thing with Nigeria. Any time and any day you wake up in Biafra land and see there is still a presence of Nigeria in Biafra territory, there will never be peace. So we must chase Nigeria away, just the way God chased Satan from heaven. Back to where they come from. Everything in Nigeria, we will remove them. Educational system will be removed. Even the religious, the way they worship in Nigeria, oh my God, you need to see our constitution. So what I'm saying is starting from the constitution of the Biafra, the United States of Biafra. So we need to chase Nigeria just like they chase Satan from heaven to wherever they belong to, for peace to reign and return in our land.
Before, Southern Sudan fought a war for 30 years. 30. Our own was only 3 years. Only our boss. 3 years only. Everybody ran away. Only 3 years. We don't want to build men that at the slightest sight of difficulty, they run away. We want to weed out all the chaffs. We need those that can sustain. Those who are relentless in the pursuit of our freedom until our freedom comes. No retreat and no surrender. How do you get them?
Buying and selling has put us into wait and take business in anything we want to do. whatever that will take us time, we don't want it again.
Nobody wants
the problem for people.
You know your people, at the slightest sign of difficulty, because they are used to buying and selling, they will run away.
Somebody is telling me here, he doesn't want to even go back to that zoo safe or whatever.
But I said something before.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans. I welcome every one of you that have joined on this program. It is going to be a quick one on revisions for us to know where we are coming from and where we are going. This is to speak to Biafran people and make sure that we are focused. Do not get distracted. No matter what you hear or what you see, it is forward ever and backward never. This platform where you are listening for this program is a platform that is standing under the United States of Biafra, supporting the United States of Biafra under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and today on the command of the Deputy Prime Minister and COS, Dr. Ngozi Orabweze. That is where we stand, and that is the right place to be. The United States of Biafra is not divided. It is only one. And I want you to pay attention to the videos I'm about to play. This video is going to show you and direct you where to go, whom to listen to, and whom to follow. The declaration of Biafra was made by a particular person under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, on the office of the Prime Minister. The office of the Prime Minister signed every document and were there. I want you to pay close attention to those who are going to speak on this platform today. Pay attention for you to know where to go, what to do, and how to think. Don't allow anybody to think for you. Think for yourself, because you are going to be responsible for your action. Whatever you do today, you will be responsible. And I bet you the United States of Biafra is one. We have gone past of Biafra government in exile. We have gone past government in exile. Today, documents have been signed. Declarations have been made under the name the United States of Biafra. If you are still hanging on, clinging on Biafra in government in exile, it means you don't know what we are doing. It means you are ignorant. It means you are mischievous. It means you are not with us. It means you are not with Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief. Mazi Simon Ekpa have moved on. Today, we are in the United States of Biafra. It's either you are in or you're out. That is where we are. The United States of Biafra government is not divided. It is one. Today, under the control of the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabweze. Take it or leave it. That is the truth. And I want you to pay attention to these very videos I'm about to play. It will help you to have a sound judgment on what to do and how to follow up. Let's watch.
We get into the program. Please be seated. So in Biafra, we have a lot of traditions. We love our culture. We love our tradition. And they keep us together. We know that we started late. We were supposed to be entertained by the Department of Culture and Tourism with their welcome song. So the Department of Culture and Tourism, are you here? So while we get them ready, we call on Honorable Uche Obi. Honorable Uche Obi.
Honorable Uche Obi, that is called upon now, is the European rep. And this is one of the most trusted men to our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. I can bet you he is the right-hand man of our Simon, our Prime Minister, and he's living in Finland with our Prime Minister. Most of the time, when our Prime Minister make a broadcast on the Finland liaison office, he is the man that prepares the ground before Mazi Simon Ekpa comes in. And last time, when Mazi Simon Ekpa was invited to be interrogated, after Mazi Simon Ekpa came out within some hours, he told us that this man that is going to speak today is somebody we must listen to, that if anything happens and we don't find him, we should pay attention to that man. He will tell us what happened. That if we don't hear from him, we shouldn't panic. All we need to do is to contact this very man that is going to speak today for us to know where to go. I am trying to bring these things out for you to know how you can be able to make sure you don't say you are confused or distracted. Mazi Simon Ekpa put everything in place for people to follow. I want you to pay attention to this man that is going to speak. He is the person, the right-hand man of our Prime Minister in Finland, and he is the European rep. Today, this man is with the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Arabweze. On the same page, these two people are the key people who were here when the declaration was made. They played a major role, and they are together. The government of the United States of Biafra is intact. Listen to those who participated.
At the end of this convention, we are going to get that which we have come here for.
This man you are seeing here is Uche, the European rep. He is living in Finland, and he is very, very close to our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. Last time when Simon Ekpa was invited by the Finnish authority, that lasted for 24 hours, and we were all worried. In a cabinet meeting, he told us that if any time we didn't hear from him, we should speak to this man. He said this man can be able to give us feedback where he is. This man can give us where he is. That until we hear from him, we shouldn't be worried. We should not worry, even if we don't hear from him, that this man is going to give us feedback. And today, this same man is the one working right hand, side by side with the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Arabweze. That speaks volume. And in this convention, it is this man and the Deputy Prime Minister that played a major role. When they were sharing the identity card, it was these two people, this man and the Deputy Prime Minister, that were giving the ID card, because they are the only people that has the right to do that. In speech, this man introduced the Prime Minister in this occasion, and also the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Arabweze, was the person that read the Prime Minister's speech. These are the two key people in the government of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. I want you to pay attention. Don't say you didn't know whom to follow or who is with Mazi Simon Ekpa. This is the right place to go. You look at Uche, wherever Uche stands, wherever Dr. Ngozi Arabweze stands, that is where Mazi Simon Ekpa stands. Stop deceiving yourself. Here.
It's unfortunate that a man that I love so much is not able to join us here today. But we must continue. He has set the path for us, and we are not relenting. We love him. Thank you once again for being here today. Once again, welcome everybody to Finland. My name is Mazi Uchobi. I am the Biafra Republic Government in Exile representative in Europe, and also one of the hosts for this event. So thank you for coming to Finland, and we are going to make history. Please join me to welcome the President of the Eritrean Council, Mr. Gebre Bauduri. Welcome, sir.
Story. What the vibes? Then bring helicopter come to my village and they drop bomb on my people. Yeah. Jet fighter pass from my village and bomb my people for low. Oh. And he came with a python.
Next on the list, we have this man I'm about to mention. He's a wonderful man, and he has done so much in making sure that our voice is heard in Washington, D.C. I am very proud of his works, and I am looking forward to more that will be coming from him. I am speaking of no other person but Mr. Elias Dinan Verasos.
What the vibes?
No, I just can't introduce
that. They kidnap and forget. They bring them to Nigeria. They put them for prison.
Next on the list, we have Mr. Richard Gazel. Mr. Richard Gazel, are you here? Perhaps he hasn't joined us yet. So the next on the list, we have Shay Kavi. Tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. And the next on the list, we have Mr. Chin Chen Seong.
You understand? Yeah. Josh.
What the vibes?
Next on the list, we have Mr. Joseph Wong. Are you here? Mr. Joseph Wong. Thank you very much, and that would be it.
Attention! Moomoo launches trading in Malaysia now. Get Move to use Moomoo fast and lag-free trading.
Thank you very much, Honorable Uche Obi. Now we call on the Chief of Staff of Biafra Republic Government in Exile to welcome Briggy officials.
What do you expect from such a country? Yeah, go shake, shake, shake. I'm a piano in Aso Rock. 247 on Willows. Them say vice president in a terrorist. Senate members in a criminal. So what do you expect? Go shake, shake, shake. Over 50 million people don't vote for referendum to live with that country, yo, because you shake, shake, shake. Nigeria an example of when devil is in control. Heartless leaders with no feelings for citizens. 29.5 million per month for senators. But them still negotiate 65K per month for common man. Yeah. Another $800 million boro. 6,000 terrorists recruited in the military. 6,000 terrorists deployed to south to east. And they try to make a talk more. They fight to make a talk no more. Them don't want me make I stop to the talk. But I want to ask what's up.
All right. Thank you so much, Biafrans. Thank you so much, our guest, our international guest. And thank you so much, the friends of Biafrans. Welcome to this wonderful event in Finland. Thank you so much for coming. Again, my name is Dr. Ngozi Orobweze, the Chief of Staff to the Biafra Republic government in exile and the de facto homeland. I welcome all of you today in Finland. Our greatest thanks goes to the person that made this dream a reality today. His Excellency, the Peace Ambassador. His Excellency Simon Ekpa, thank you so much.
Injunction have begun.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know you all hold him so dear. And for Finland to do what they did to us today, we will never forget. So, on that note, I welcome everyone here today. I welcome all the Brigade Cabinet members. I welcome all the liaison officers, the reps. I welcome all the de facto administrators that are here with us today. I welcome all the help, all the international lawyers that are here today. We thank you. We thank you so much. Asina mberede nyiri dike mana mberede ka eji amadike. And our Prime Minister has always told us to be ready for a day like this. That is going to come. We thank all our foot soldiers in our Biafra territory, protecting our land, safeguarding the lives of our women and children, making Biafra a safe place. One of the safest places you have in Nigeria today is Biafra land. So we thank them. I just want to use this opportunity to once again recognize our leader. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu dị Ọhamadike afọ ndị Igbo.
Rock the vibes. Just struggle autopilot until Nnamdi come out. Simon not the pilot. Go to hell, tell Elisa we know before. Put Charlie for call.
Ọhamadike is today being held by the Nigeria DSS. And they think that if they take away Ọhamadike, there will be nothing like Biafra, right? Ọhamadike, he told them, you all have held me for 4 years. What will the 5th year do for me? Because of him, and because of our Prime Minister, and because of the heroes and heroines of Biafra, we are doing what we are doing today. And nobody can stop us. On that note, I just want to welcome everyone here and let you know behind the scene, there have been the brigade cabinet officials that have been working behind the scene day and night to make sure that we are all going home en masse in 2025. All Biafrans have traveled from all over the world. Every part of the world. You will see one Biafra here that's come from that part of the world. And we thank you so much. And on this note, if everyone except the media could sit, and I would love all the brigade cabinet officials to please stand up wherever you are sitting. Please. Please. Dear friends, these are the people that have been making things happen behind the scene. The names are so many, and because we are already running out of time, we're not going to be able to name them individually, but please take your time. If you see any of these individuals, please thank them for us. They are why we are here today. I want to also use this opportunity to let us all know there'll be few slight changes in our schedule today from the agenda we have, and we would like everyone to really work with us based on existing information we have. And on that note, I thank you all so much. Welcome, dear friends, to Finland. Thank you.
Rock the vibes.
You have just had a speech from the Deputy Prime Minister, CEO of
With Charlie for call, tell and say we come.
What you are seeing here is a foundation.
We want to save Africa. Freedom and restoration.
The face of the United States of Biafra you are seeing today. That is what you just saw.
Thank you, sir.
I played that for you to understand what is going on. For those who say they are confused, I just laid a foundation for you. If you know you are following Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra, under the United States of Biafra, the person that just spoke today in this program, Dr. Ngozi Orebose, is the person today holding the banner for our Prime Minister. I have just showed you one of his right-hand man also, Uche, in Finland, the European rep. When you have the COS and European rep, you don't need to look for any other person. These are the two key men. Once they are in line together, you have no reason to have a doubt or confused. If you still claim to be confused, I am sorry, you are doing that at your own detriment. And it is because you have an evil mind. That is why you cannot see the truth. When you see Uche, the European rep, who is in Finland, whom Mazi Simon Ekpa told us that anytime we find him, we don't see him, we should ask that man a question. Today, you see the man standing beside the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orebose, and you are still doubting. You are not a follower of Mazi Simon Ekpa, and you are not with the United States of Biafra. It is important that we align ourselves on the right path. This program is to strengthen your mind. Tomorrow, I'm still going to do another program and give you key information that will make you and help you to make your decisions. Now, let us listen to the speech that was made by one of the delegates from the United States. Pay attention to this very part. It is important. Let's listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest in our midst. We are so lucky to have this guest. Our PM has been working so hard for this guest to grace this occasion, and he did. So, I call on Dr. Bryson Okeoma to introduce this special guest. I won't call his name. Let's keep the surprise going. Dr. Bryson Okeoma, please take the stage.
What's that to go? Lie on yourself. I'm the war. I'm the fight. I'm the battle. I got the powers. I got the powers. I'm about to release my powers.
Okay, thank you very much. And yeah, like she said, we have a special guest who has come in graciously from Washington, D.C. to share his thoughts with us this afternoon. So everyone here agrees with me that Nigeria is probably the only country in the world facilitating external aggression against her indigenous populations. Is that a fair statement? Okay. Invading terrorists kill hundreds of indigenous populations, Africa community. But instead of deploying their military to root out the invaders, Nigeria deploys its military against indigenous populations resisting the invasion. As such, Nigeria government has made Nigeria a massive killing field, taking hundreds of lives.
The man speaking now, his duty is to introduce the delegates that is come from the Washington, D.C. The most important message is going to come from the delegates. When the delegates stop to speak, that is where I want you to pay attention. This man that is speaking is just trying to introduce that very man that came from Washington, D.C. on the occasion of this very declaration of Biafra. This person that spoke, his only duty here is to introduce that man who has come to play a part on the declaration of Biafra and give a speech on the podium. That is the only thing he's doing here. The very person who is the moderator of the program is his wife. The wife of this man is the moderator of the program. So she brought her husband to introduce that man, that delegate that was sent from Washington, D.C. to speak on this ground of the recognition. There is nothing bad in him introducing the man, or whether the man is his wife, or there's nothing wrong in that. Anybody can be chosen. Since he's the person available, he was chosen to introduce the man from the Washington, D.C., and that is the duty he has to do here. Let us wait and listen to that very man from the Washington, D.C. That is where the message is.
Every day. For us to have a state that uses its military to defend her citizens, the independence of Biafra, the independence of the United States of Biafra is a necessity. On November 30th, that's just 2 days ago, we listened to perspectives from Michael Rubin, an advocate for freedom, who had written about Biafra self-referendum, the data you just shared, and the need for the incoming US President, Donald Trump. I know you guys love him. To pay attention to Biafra. Today we will listen to another Washington, D.C. based advocate for freedom, Mr. Doug Bandar. So, Doug he's a senior fellow at Cato Institute. He specializes in foreign policy and civil liberties. Doug has written extensively on issues bordering freedom and civil liberties around the world, and has written several articles on insecurity in Nigeria. Today, Doug will share his perspective on Biafra freedom, exit from Nigeria, its implications for security, and the role the U.S. government can play. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome Doug.
Thank you.
I watch them cry in the mirror every day. They cry. For the past few days,
Well, thank you very much.
you understand?
This is a much more enthusiastic audience than I normally find in Washington, D.C.
Anybody. I might suspect you, and I have to say it to you.
And I appreciate very much the opportunity to come. As you can imagine, for me, it's very unusual to be speaking about Nigeria and Lati, Finland. Only very recently did I have a chance to meet and to speak with your ministers and discuss your cause. And I'm very glad that Michael Rubin spoke to all of you. I have great respect for him, and he writes about liberty and freedom around the world regularly in Washington. I have visited Nigeria, I've been incredibly impressed at the people that I have met. As I traveled across Nigeria, I found people who were entrepreneurial, who worked extraordinarily hard, who were people of faith, people who cared for their families, and people with extraordinary potential. Yet I found that they suffered under a government that did not live up to its responsibilities to protect them and to protect those opportunities for them, and a government that in many cases seemed to be working against them instead of for them. Now, Nigeria, as anyone who looks at would recognize, is extraordinarily important, not only for Africa, but to the world. It has the largest population and economy in Africa. Africa itself is a continent of extraordinary potential. A growing population when most of the rest of the world, including America, have declining populations. But we see vibrancy and growth in Africa. And Nigeria has so much to offer, not only, to Africans, but also to Americans and to people around the world. I have occasionally gotten into a taxi cab to go to the airport, and my driver, it turns out, came from Africa. And we will discuss where he or she came from and what their home was like. And what I am particularly concerned about, like Michael Rubin, is concerned about human rights, about religious liberty, about economic opportunity, all of which are fundamental for human people everywhere on earth. And despite problems in my country, and as all of you recognize, all countries have some problems, and I accept with my own as well, the United States has done generally pretty good at trying to protect those opportunities and those liberties, which is why we've drawn people from Nigeria to America. But you shouldn't have to leave your country to have those opportunities. To me, that is the great tragedy that we see in Nigeria today, and for Biafrans, is the belief that to be fully protected and have full opportunity, that they must leave and go somewhere else. Now, you are enriching countries around the world, and that, I think, is wonderful, bringing knowledge of Nigeria, of Biafra, of Africa to Finland, to Europe, and to America. But again, you shouldn't feel you have to leave your homes to do so, and that is something which other people, other countries around the world should support you as you demand that those opportunities be protected. And we all know the problems that have occurred in Africa, in Nigeria. I don't have to go through them, you have lived them. In terms of internal conflict and violence, of misrule and dictatorship, of corruption, of political misbehavior, even of the current government. But the problems, unfortunately, there was great hope when the dictatorship ended. But if one looks at Africa and looks at Nigeria today, one sees it getting worse, not better. And that is wrong. And that is a threat to you all. It's a threat to your families back in Nigeria, and it's a threat to everyone who lives in Biafra. I think that it's important here, it's vital that these opportunities not be lost. An area that I care especially about is religious liberty, and I write about that an awful lot. And that's an area that I have great concern in what I see in Nigeria today. That again, there's a long history here, which I don't need to tell you because you have lived it. But it's recognized by some in America, and I think this is an important issue to address the new administration on. Because Donald Trump does care about religious liberty, It's an issue during his first term that he was concerned about. He received very strong support from many religious people in America. And this is the kind of issue that you can use to talk to the incoming administration about the importance of liberty in Nigeria, and also in that context then raise the cause of Biafra. That is not something which many people write about. Michael Rubin was an exception. But this is an issue that you can use to educate Americans. The U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, which is an independent body that studies religious issues around the world, told us last year that freedom conditions in Nigeria remained extremely poor. Violence across Nigeria impacted freedom of religion or belief as the government failed to prevent attacks against faith-based organizations and worshipers, with some accusing it of actually fomenting those attacks. So this is recognized. This is recognized in Washington. And of course, these kinds of attacks harm all Nigerians, everywhere in the country. But the attacks have been particularly focused on Christians. And that is something, again, that can be brought to the attention of the U.S. government, that this is a way to raise your cause. The challenge, I have to tell you, is today in Washington, every interest group and everyone is lined up hoping to get the attention of the new president who comes into office. So this will not be easy. So it's very important to find causes that this president and those around him care about. And I think that is going to be the biggest challenge for you all. It was obvious the Biden administration was not particularly concerned about these issues. Unfortunately, I wish it had been. I personally and my institute try to stay nonpartisan. We want to speak to anyone who we can in Washington about policy and engage anyone who's willing to talk to us. But looking at the record of the Biden administration, it was far too willing to deal with the established government and seemed unconcerned about fundamental liberties like religious liberty, and was prepared to dismiss attacks on Christians throughout the country as being part of rural disputes and climate change and other things, when in fact we can understand the deep roots of religion that those attacks reflected, and the fact that there were virulent terrorist groups active in Nigeria, where at times the government and government security forces have seemed as willing to attack the citizens of Nigeria as to protect them from those terrorist threats. So this, I think, is an important issue to bring forward. It's also important to address the Trump administration when it's trying to think about future friends in Africa. That Biafra would be a friend of America. And you are certainly making that case, and you need to ask those you know in America to make that case in America as well. Because again, Donald Trump is, shall we say, a very unique person. That's not always perhaps to America's benefit, but I think in this case, it's actually very useful. Because Donald Trump is willing to break with the status quo. I do a lot of work on issues like North Korea, and I thought one of the brilliant steps that Donald Trump took was a willingness to meet with the leader of North Korea that no other U.S. president had ever done. So that is something that you can appeal to him on, that perhaps he could meet with the leader of Biafra. That he recognizes the importance of reaching out to people who his predecessors refused to have anything to do with. Donald Trump, maybe there is an opportunity. And I also think those around him, many of those who are coming in, share that willingness to challenge the status quo. And that is what you suffer from. And I will admit, when I first heard about what you were doing, I'm old enough, unfortunately, to remember the terrible war. I was young, but I still remember pictures on TV and pictures of starving children, the horrors that happened with that. And you all know that. I suspect almost all of you had people who suffered in that, friends and family who died and suffered, the horrors of that, which can never be repeated. But what the status quo in Washington then is, we don't talk about such things, right? We put them away in a closet somewhere, and we say that issue's finished, nothing to be done, please don't bother us, we have other things to do. And when you sit in Washington, I have to tell you, it's very tempting to it's kind of the ultimate imperial city, where American policymakers view themselves as kind of on top, and their job is to speak to the world and deliver their judgment. Now, I am not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell Nigerians or Africans what to do. I do not live your experience. I do not go through your experience. I have not suffered what you have suffered. I have not had the frustrations that you have had. So the last thing I would ever do is to try to tell you, as if I know better than you, what you should do. But I want to encourage you to speak out, because you can carry the message forward. And that message needs to go to Washington, D.C. And that message needs to go to the White House when there's a new president. It needs to go to the Congress. Now the U.S. Senate will be controlled by Republicans as well. There's a chance there. It needs to go to think tanks, which matter, people who spend a lot of time, they publish lots of stuff. You know, they spend a lot of time thinking in theory, in meeting, but they need to hear your message, because today it's not a message that anyone really wants to talk about. But I think if you can get attention of the president, get attention of other leaders, this is an opportunity. And I want to encourage all of you, you have a cause that is just, a cause that is important. It is a cause that is compelling. And I think then nestle that within the larger argument. You know, this is an administration, current one, where the president only now, as he is about a month and a half away from leaving office, decided to visit Africa. That apparently he looked at a map one day and said, oh, I guess I wasn't there. Now we need, with the new administration, a president comes in and says, I should go to Africa. I need to look at Africa. I need to understand Africa. And a good place for him to start is Nigeria. And if he starts, he should not start thinking of Abuja. He should start thinking about the people of Nigeria, wherever they live, and understanding how that government in Abuja and its security forces are not serving the people of Nigeria. Because the ultimate responsibility of any government is to protect your safety, is to protect your opportunities, to protect your freedom to worship and to live and to speak, and to protect a democratic future where you can choose your leaders freely and live in a free and democratic society. And that's not being done today by the government in Abuja. And Nigeria could lead Africa But as I indicated, it looks like it's going in the wrong way. Well, a free Biafra could lead Nigeria. So I want you to take that message to Washington, that listening to you is an opportunity for the United States to help improve Africa and help Africa lead the world. Because as I indicated, again, you look around the world, virtually every country is shrinking. I mean, one can look at Europe, and much of Europe could theoretically disappear. I mean, the estimates on fertility rates is extraordinary. Even at China, by the end of the century, people talk about China being maybe 400 million people rather than 1.4 million. Africa continues to have vitality. Africa continues to have life, and for the future can show the way. And that is a very good reason for the United States to have a president start with a visit to Africa, not end with a visit to Africa. To turn it around and say, I'm starting with the future. I'm starting with the possibilities. I'm starting with the opportunities. And again, a good place to start, if that's your policy, is Biafra. So let me, as I indicated, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But it looks to me like you know what you want to do. And I want to commend you, again, for your enthusiasm, for your willingness to gather here, for your willingness you've chosen leaders, you're pushing referendum, you're taking steps to make this vision, this dream, into a reality. And I just want to encourage you on that journey. This is your journey, not mine. It's not Donald Trump's journey. It's not an America's journey. Unfortunately, the United States has pushed a lot of people on journeys that didn't work out. But if you start on the journey and you are making the journey happen, then you can come to America and say, help us. So I want to conclude with a vision of a democratic and prosperous African continent, a democratic and prosperous Nigeria, and a democratic and prosperous Biafra. This is up to you to turn that kind of a vision into a reality. And I'm so happy again to see so much enthusiasm and a willingness to gather and to push this vision. And I want to thank you for inviting me to come to speak to you. Because I have to tell you, as someone who's been involved in American politics for a very long time, and has grown a little tired and a little cynical about American politics, I find this energizing and for me to go back to America. So thank you, Godspeed, and have a blessed new year. Thank you.
My fellow Biafrans, you have heard the speech, and that is all I got for you for today. We are going to continue this program tomorrow. I am going to bring you another part. I will continue to make these revelations of important events that happened on that declaration day that people did not pay attention to. I will begin to point them out one after the other so that you can key in and understand where you stand. These information will help you to make your choice, where to go and whom to follow. Always remember, always remember that this declaration that was done shows that we have stepped up. Why would somebody go to Finland to declare Biafra after declaration of Biafra, which is the United States of Biafra? You come back and you are fighting against that same thing you took a flight to go to Finland for. Did you go to Finland to declare Biafra government in exile? Did you go to Finland to declare Biafra government in exile? The purpose of going to Finland was to go and declare the United States of Biafra, which was what you voted for on the self-referendum. The self-referendum that more than 60 million people voted for. What they voted for was the United States of Biafra. And that was what you went to Finland to declare. How can any sensible and reasonable human being, after going to Finland to make declaration, you are coming back and say you will not propagate that name, the United States of Biafra? You will not work with that name, the United States of Biafra, after you have gone to vote and declare in Finland. And it is a shame that some people who are uttering this comment are people who flew to Finland, spent their money, spent their time to go to Finland and declare Biafra. Today, that same Biafra they declare, they are fighting it. Did you go to Finland to declare government in exile? The answer is no. What was declared in Finland is the United States of Biafra. And from that moment onwards, every document that we are using to propagate our message under the Prime Minister Samuel Ekpa, every document changes to the United States of Biafra. It has been declared. The only thing you have to pursue today is recognition and restoration on the ground. You cannot continue to use government in exile. What do you want people to recognize? Do you want people to recognize government in exile or recognize the United States of Biafra? What do you want them to recognize? It is so sad that some people who you think are learned have empty brain. I will stop here, and tomorrow we will continue again. This is to help people to make their decision. I'm not forcing you to listen, neither am I forcing you to agree, but I'm helping you to make a wise decision so that you'll be ready to be responsible for any decision you make going forward. The Prime Minister is watching. He's watching every one of us. Don't think he's watching. And I bet you very soon he's going to join us. Thank you so much and stay blessed. I will see you again tomorrow by the grace of God.
That's so. Anyala. Umu Biafra nala. Ayenala na lanso. Ngwanu kailawa. Aka kucha onwa.
Honorable Dr.
We are unstoppable. We are indefatigable. The 14 states of Biafra. Ngwanu. Anyana. Iye chidere. Odego ya. Chidera yi Biafra. Anyala wala. Ma ndị nọ n'obodo oyibo, ma ndị nọ na Naịjirịa, ma ndị nọ na mba ụwa ọzọ dị iche iche. Obi kadawala, ọ nọkwanyu n'ugwu na ndịda. Oge ụnụ anyị erugo. Webe ọṅụ, webe ọṅụ. Webe ọṅụ, eluigwe na-enwe ọṅụ. Anyị pụọ, ana m anụ ya. Na so, gbaa ya agba. Ezi ụka. Now so we don't do am. Papa Jimmy am ayo. Mama bara megwa. Mayo. Ụmụaka ụmụ Biafra ụmụ ọma. Anyị ana.